Hanna Kok was born in the Netherlands and has been living in Southern Africa for the last 40 years. She's a coach, author, and speaker. She's the creator of the revolutionary Apphirmations App that changes people's mindset while they sleep. Users have seen a significant improvement in their physical and mental health. Welcome, Hanna, to the Bree Talk stage. We're excited to hear 2 tips to increase safety and security.
Okay, so 2 tips about increasing safety and security. Now, when have you got that you don't feel so safe or secure? Could it be because you lack money? Maybe there's a bully in your life, or you're dealing with an illness, or do you have crime in your life? Living in South Africa can be dangerous. Now, it's not because we have these wild predators running through the streets, as some people think. No, we have, sadly so, a different type of predator. We have quite a high crime rate in this country. But these tips that I'm sharing with you are not only related to dealing with crime and to increase safety within that situation, they also apply for any other situation where you do not feel safe or secure. But let me start with saying thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And also especially thanks to Terry Lee and her team for organizing this wonderful platform and this opportunity for us to speak. In my talk, I will be talking about those 2 tips, and then at the end, I have a special gift for you that can assist you in applying the 2 tips that I'm sharing with you today. As I mentioned, living in South Africa, you have to be prepared because of the crime rate. And one thing that people do, especially in the big cities, is that we have a wall around the property with an electric fence that is even connected to an armed response company. And one night I got a phone call from the armed response company saying, there's a problem with your fence. We think somebody tried to get through. So they came and had a look, and then we found that one of these panels, the whole precast wall, was broken through in an attempt to gain access to our property. And then I thought, that's weird. Why did I attract that? And what was really amazing was just the night before, I had been watching this movie about the law of attraction where we attract everything. Now, why would anybody attract an attempted burglary? Then I realized, it's summertime, and soon we're going on holiday, and my husband is not so keen on getting a house sitter, and I was. And now with this burglary, he was very keen to get a house sitter to look after the animals. I also was wondering, how can we stay safe after this? Because normally what happens is if they're unsuccessful in getting into your house, they will try again and again until they are successful. So I was thinking, what can I do? Well, of course, the first thing that we had to do was repair the wall, and my gardener and I managed to do that together. And then I had this strong urge to paint on the outside, Jesus loves you. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is not something that I would normally write anywhere because I'm very private about my beliefs. But it makes so much sense because for me, it meant if they come back to that same spot the next night, they'll see, hey, there's somebody who loves you. They will also see that I'm not really angry. However, at the same time, I am claiming divine protection over our property. 3 days after that, my husband and I were invited at a private wedding in a private game reserve. It was really wonderful, and we all stayed over as well. And the next morning, I was up early at sunrise, and I felt going for a walk. Because it was warm, I had short sleeves, short pants on, and off I went. I left my phone in the room. And as I walked on the path, I saw this little hare. And then I saw another one and another one. And I thought, that's interesting because the American Indians believe that if an animal crosses your path, they have a message for you. So I am going to look you up. I have a book at home and I'm going to look you up. What is your message? But it would be nice to see some bigger animals. So I continued walking and I felt the urge to go onto this hill, and there I see this herd of impala. But they were scared of me, so they just ran away. It was beautiful to see them. But then I said to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful to see some bigger animals that don't walk away, that would actually come to me? I continue walking and I come in a split in the road and I look the one way, nothing, look the other way, buffalo. Now, I don't know if you know anything about these buffalo, but of the big five, they're one of the big five, they are the most deadly if they charge you. So I realized, I said to them, you know what? I've seen you, thank you, wonderful. I'm going this way. I want you to go in the opposite direction. But they didn't listen. They started following me at about 50 to 100 meters distance, so it was okay. But I kept looking over my shoulder, where are they? And soon I noticed they stopped following me. With great relief, I continued walking and I came to this open area that looked sort of like this. It only didn't have trees. And as I'm in the middle of this open area, I hear the trampling of hooves behind me. I spin around and here is this herd of buffalo running straight for me. And there's nowhere to hide, nowhere to climb. All I could do was I prayed. I prayed like I would put any minister out of a job. And there they were. They stopped right there. And I could see his nose and the hair and the snot. And they wanted to come even closer. But the idea of feeling that snotty, hairy nose against my arm was just too awful. So again, I told them to stop in the name of Jesus Christ, and he stopped. I now was shaking quite uncontrollably, but I pretended to be calm. I spoke to them and I said, oh man, this bull, you have such a wonderful family. You've got beautiful cows and calves. I also have a nice family, and I would love to see them again. And do you know my way home? Well, shortly after that, they left. Well, they went that way, so I went that way. But as I went the other way, I realized I'm hopelessly lost. I can't even find the chalets. And I realized everything I'd asked for, I had received. And I asked them for the way home, so I have to follow them. At a safe distance, of course. So as I followed them, within 2 minutes, I see the chalets. I say, thank you very much, and I run off. When we got home later that day, I immediately went to my book and looked up hare. And remember, this is now 5 days after the attempted break-in. And it said, don't be afraid. And then I looked up deer, impala, and it said, do things the gentle way. So don't go and buy guns and put more armed responses in or whatever. Do things the gentle way. And then my husband said, but what about buffalo? I hadn't thought about it because they look so different from the American buffalo. But I looked them up, and the message was, rely on the power of prayer. So it made so much sense that I had this urge of painting that on the wall, that I could now rely on the power of prayer. I experienced that. Years later, I received another phone call at night. This time it was for my domestic worker who was house sitting for me while I was on holiday over 1,000 kilometers away, like 700 miles away. She said, "Madam, they're busy breaking into the house. What must I do?" I said, "Okay, you go and hide and lock yourself in a room and I'll see what I can do." Hours later, I managed to get hold of her again. And I said, "How's it going?" She says, "Everything is fine. The police is there. The armed response is there." And I asked, "What did they steal?" She says, "Nothing, nothing." You know why that was possible? Because after I had hung up the first time, I said, "God, what do I do now? Other than phoning the police and the armed response, what can I do?" And the thought came, rely on the power of prayer. And that's what I did. I prayed for protection for the house and for her and for everything in there. And I am strongly convinced that that is the reason why they didn't steal anything. My tip number one for creating safety is to rely on that power of prayer. Now, tip number two is change your vibration. What do I mean with that? Have you ever heard of Kirlian photography? It is when they can take pictures of your aura. And here is a picture of an aura of a fingertip of a person with loving thoughts. It's solid, it is big. And then here is a picture of a person who is having fearful thoughts. Can you see how small the aura is? And it's got even holes in it. And I have very good reasons to know that criminals tend to be attracted to people with fearful thoughts, with a weak aura, because we read each other's energy, we read each other's vibes. When we feel loving thoughts, we have that high vibration, and criminals are not attracted to us. But at the same time, we also receive guidance. We have this gut feel like, don't go there. Or it could even happen that we are prevented from going to a dangerous situation because, strangely enough, we got stuck in traffic or something weird or wonderful happens. Why could our vibration be low? It could be that we're holding grudges. It could be because we're fearful. Or we are not feeling well and we are in pain. Now, I have a gift for you that can assist you with raising your vibration. So please take out your phone and click on this or take a picture of this QR code. It will take you to this website with the affirmations. And here you can use them for free for 7 days. And this one, especially the atmosphere affirmation, it's really good for creating safety and security. People have told me when they used it, crime activities on their property within a few days decreased. And what happens is you'll be playing these audios softly in your home, and it's like spraying blessings in your home. Now, when you get these affirmations for free for 7 days, you get all the other subjects. So there are also subjects like the affirmations for menopause and menopause. This is more extensive, where you get 31 different days with different audios. But again, there's a range of audios that you can play super softly in the background while you sleep or go about your day. When you sign up, and even if you cancel within the 7 days, you get this free forgiveness course to keep forever. Forgiveness is a great way of raising your vibration. So please claim your free gift, because when you apply these 2 tips of raising your vibration, and also, of course, to rely on that power of prayer, you will increase your safety and security. Thank you.